Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Good day, another day here. Of course, my name is Jel. I'm the host of CyberCEO, and we are very lucky to have another CyberCEO on the show today. So, Mickey, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Philip. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's an honor to have you on the show. And of course, we wanted to say thank you for your time. We know you're very busy. Now, for the benefit of our listeners, by the way, of course, we wanted to get to know you a bit more. Can you tell us something about yourself, please?
Sure. My pleasure of being here. Thanks for inviting me. I'm 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗶𝗹. Been a Maps coach for going on 6 years now. Before that, I had a pretty good sized sales team. We sold almost 1,000 houses over the years. A lot of new construction. Worked through the last giant crash and worked with some banks, little and small to big and small to help those folks get out of the last jam. Um, I now have a development company where we take two-story homes in center city Philadelphia and
Hmm.
make them into four-story homes. Sort of
Oh.
become our niche. So I took what we learned in working with the banks and helping them finish projects and build out their projects that had stalled because of the last crash. Pulled that
Mhm.
into today. Launched my own construction company, and we do those projects at a pretty high level. We're doing our 20th one as we speak.
Wow.
I still do some sales for friends and colleagues. Yet I'm focused on coaching Maps clients at a super high level. Got 25 coaching clients now in my roster, and the average big team in my roster will do about 75 million in sales. So some pretty big players where I wind up learning a lot, learning as much I think about the business as I do, able to pour into them and
Mhm.
help them. So it's been a really fun ride and super rewarding.
I can only assume it's a fun ride. So you're doing a lot right now, right? Your time is really cut thin, am I right?
I'm a really good time blocker, and so I feel like my calendar doesn't look quite as crazy as maybe it might otherwise. Yet, yes, we're very efficient and we've got lots to accomplish.
There you just mentioned a lot to accomplish, but good thing you're very good when it comes to time blocking. Now, my next question is how long have you been partnered with your own cyberbacker?
It's right now. I'm not sure if it's down to the week or so,
Hmm.
but it's very close to being at our 4 year
Wow.
for the 4 year mark or 4 year anniversary.
4 years. So let me ask you then, can you tell me more about the experience? How has it been so far?
It's been very different. This is I got my license in 2007,
Hmm.
and this is 2021. So I've been doing this for a while, and hiring abroad is not new.
Hmm.
What is new is my experience. I was thinking about this morning. I think I've had 10 other virtual assistants before Rochelle, um, and there's a reason that none of those 10 are still in my world. Um, had lots and lots of problems with reliability. Many had a good work ethic. Most of them had a really hard time in basic tasks
Hmm.
of like plugging in and having internet connection and being able to use the language effectively
Hmm.
and massive scheduling conflicts. So my expectations coming into this new relationship were somewhat low, and I can just tell you that it's really been way more than a pleasant surprise
Hmm.
how effective and efficient you guys have been, and of course by extension how effective Rochelle has been on the ground working with us directly.
That's awesome. Imagine 4 years of that specific partnership and relationship with Cyberbacker. Now, what makes this kind of partnership a successful one, Mickey?
It starts with the willingness and desire to make it a partnership, right? And what I mean by that is it's I think a mistake that some of us make in hiring someone who doesn't work in our office
Mm-hmm.
is that we hire them to do specific tasks. And it's fine because many of us have tasks on our plate and in our time blocks that are not in a dollar productive activity,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
um, maximizing it for us. So we give them things to do, and that often is the end of the partnership. Um, and I look at it differently, right? And we may get to this later. I'm not sure how much time we have.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference between how we've been approaching the partnership and how we did it before is that Rochelle is exactly like us. She's every bit as good as I am at some things, and frankly, much better at a whole group of other things. And she's a team member of we're equals, right? It's not it has nothing to do where she lives has nothing to do with her level of talent. And I think that as we evolve this concept of hiring globally, that'll become more clear. And I think that the people who understand that the best way to do this is to treat the new relationship as a genuine partnership, and the fact that they don't live in the same city has really nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with where the partnership can go, and it certainly is not a hindrance. The only thing that we can't do together is I can't pour her a fantastic cup of coffee because she is
Mm-hmm.
far away. Right? That's about the only limitation we have.
Awesome, of course. But maybe in the future, you never know. Might meet each other in person and get that coffee then.
I hope. I do hope, and I hope that's an awesome meeting, and that we can kind of celebrate and
Mm-hmm.
do a big high five and yeah, kind of hug it out, as they say. Yet working together is fantastic and not slowed down in any way by her not being in the same city as I am.
All right. So since you already mentioned it, it's really been awesome working with Rochelle. How much time has she saved you ever since she started working with you in your business?
Probably 15 or so hours a week if I crunch it.
Oh.
Um, and it isn't just the time savings, it's the
Mm-hmm.
ability to go forward, right? And she has taken a sizable amount of my time blocks off of my plate, and she allows me the time to do the type of time blocking and planning and thinking time, we call it, to grow our businesses, versus being stuck working in them and getting caught up on all of the stuff that we generate because we're busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say 15 hours is a pretty good estimate of what it would take me to do what she's partnered to do with us now. And it's also been a chance for us to scale, right? So not only has she got me 15 hours of my time back, it's allowed me to have the vision, to focus on getting bigger and see how I can help her get bigger as well in terms of her professional growth.
Of course, that's very, very important because once your cyberbacker would have that growth mindset, then of course you and your business would have that as well, right?
Well, we think really big, and we know that when we have people in our world as talented as Rochelle, I've got to think super big so that her vision is my
Yes.
vision is big enough to keep her vision inside mine.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Now, a lot of our listeners right now don't really know how to take advantage of their cyberbackers, don't know what to have their cyberbackers do. So, just for them to benefit, of course, from this, what are the things that you have Rochelle do for you in your business?
I definitely want to give you a list of stuff she does, but I want to go back and just re-highlight what I said
Of
before, which
course.
is everything, right? She can do everything, and she does. There's nothing she can't do in our world, that anyone who sits next to me on a daily basis can. The only really the limitation is my ability to slow down and envision and grow and see where she can support, help, and grow alongside, and
Mhm.
sometimes faster than us on the things we're implementing. So that's the global view. She does everything. She's on all of my calls, so she takes all of the notes on the calls, in terms of a log. What I do is I log on and I'm able to see what she's taking,
Mhm.
note wise, and simply highlight a few things that I really wanted to focus on, and kind of move those to the top of our log, so to speak, or the the notes she's taking that day. So I may take 3 or 4 or 5 key sentences and takeaways, and she's going to have really the minutes of that meeting, so that we take great care to document everything we cover and talk about. She runs my calendar. She runs my emails. Say one of the best things that I've asked her to do, and it's tremendously valuable, because my email list, like I guess like many others, just kind of get buried. And when I'm able to ask Rochelle, can you find the email that said X? Because I just can't find it on my phone, or it's buried somewhere, and I forget what the title was, and it's just not coming up, especially on my iPhone. When she can just go back 3 weeks and find the email I've been looking to find, it's taking me now 25 minutes. I'm getting frustrated. When she can do that, I can just tell you that's way more valuable than it sounds on paper. So she does my contracts. She writes my sales contracts for real estate. She writes my contracts when we buy investment properties. She's training herself how to be a transaction coordinator, so she can do that for us at an even higher level that we're doing now. And oh, by the way, not pay for the same service twice. She's training herself on that. So yeah, if it sounds like a partnership, it is.
Imagine having someone who's really willing to grow with you in your business as well. Now, I want you to be honest with me here, Mickey, with the next question that I have. Have there been any challenges working with Cyberbacker?
Of course. I tell you, the biggest one is probably me, right? Because I still have not kicked the habit of assuming that if I have an idea or a concept or something needs to get done and it's in my brain, I sometimes assume it's in everybody else's brain too. And so whenever I find that Rochelle's not nailing it, it's almost always because I didn't get out of my brain what I wanted to have done that week or month. And no wonder she's not doing what I asked her to do, because I didn't tell her. So it's been that is reminding myself, as I feel like I'm talking about today, that she's exactly like any other team member, and they need great feedback and great direction and great education like anybody else.
Of course, they would also need your support when it comes to these things. Now, one last question, Mickey. There are a lot of people right now who are having second thoughts about having their own cyberbacker and, of course, getting into the virtual world. And what advice would you be able to give them?
I would remind anyone who's having that conversation with you and with others that if you're not growing, you're dying. And in any industry and in any business, there are a group of tasks that we call the 20%. And the 20% is made up of the stuff that when you accomplish it, it gives you the ability to create 80% of your results. And in doing nearly 10,000 hours of coaching calls with a wide variety of clients nationwide, in the beginning, that's almost always a part of the challenge, is that they're focused on working in the business and either have or haven't created enough time to work on the business. And so what Rochelle let us do in the beginning was carve out time to work on the business instead of just working in the business, which allowed us to build out 3 successful companies on our way to building out 2 more. So I would just say that if you're looking to scale, and if you're growing, you need to scale.
Yes.
Focus on someone that understands how we think at our company in terms of leverage, and that the rainmaker and the leaders are best when they're staying in their 20%. And I guess I would also mention that, in any hiring in generally we hire out of need, right? We hire because we got to get something done, or someone just left, or you had to get out of business with somebody, and you've got a spot to fill and a job description to get done, and you hire someone to do that job. And since you're hiring out of a real need, sometimes there's pressure to skip through all of the management and the training and education and supervision and process to make sure the person is successful, because you're busy, right? If I need someone to do a job, then I got to do my job also. It's doubly hard to do my job and help them do theirs in the beginning when they don't know what to do. That's really hard to do.
Yes.
The nice thing about Cyberbacker is that there are layers of support, both in management and in colleagues in her current role, that she can reach out to on her own, right? And if at any given time I determine that Rochelle was not a great fit for my organization, you guys would replace her and give me somebody else, right? We haven't had to do that. I have every confidence that if that were the case, you'd find someone else who would be a much better fit, and I wouldn't do anything but request that needed to make a change. So that those other layers of assistance and support in hiring talent of any type are immensely valuable. And I think that's probably, if you ask Craig what is probably his top three and maybe lead domino of what makes it successful, is all the layers of support and guidance that exist within your company that we also have within our companies. I think it makes it a perfect partnership.
Yes, actually, that's true because what we do here is not just giving you a person. We partner with the person. No, we are partnering with one cyberbacker and, of course, the whole company as well. A whole line of defense if ever there would be any support that you would need as well. So, no worries about that. Now, Mickey, one last thing I forgot. If there is anything that you'd like to say to Rochelle, I know she would be listening to the episode, I'm sure.
I hope she is. I hope she's at least going to get the recording. I know she will. I want to say we're just getting started, right? We are just getting started in terms of what we can do with our organization. And I've learned over the years that the more I can share opportunity with those people I'm in business with, the bigger my business gets and the more things that I get off my bucket list. So I'm just looking forward to continuing to build this thing. And I think we're going to scare ourselves in terms of how big and powerful we can get and how many people we can serve and give back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And now to all of our listeners, as mentioned by Mick, if you're not growing, you're dying. So if you would want to grow more, have your own cyberbacker, visit our websites. Mickey, thank you very much for your time being on the show. We know you're very busy. We really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.